Over.
No,
you don't care because
no, I don't because Jensen Wang is using cards. He's using GPUs. He's not using chips. He is defying Moore's law. He has got more going for him than anyone. And just because he, when you hear him, when you read his speeches, you have to read them over and over and over again because they are so far over our heads.
They are.
He is Einstein of our era. How much is gaming? Revenues are expected to decline meaningfully, but they don't know how much is gaming. That was really the problem. Like when you spoke to them, they never were really sure what people were doing with the chip. Were they using it for gaming, or were they using it for crypto? And they just got it wrong. Now, several times are the multiple increase. Is Nvidia still a good company? Yes. Do they know how to forecast? Clearly not. Do they have the best chips? Throughout the conversation on the call, Jensen Wang repeatedly said that Moore's law is dead. Moore's law is traditional semis. They're making GPUs, and the GPU is more powerful and actually runs a little bit cooler. But I think that they got it so wrong that no one's going to trust Jensen for a while.
Prior.
They can't get this cryptocurrency.
That's a fairly large guide down. We're talking about...
oh, David, the data center's down.
$500 million.
Data center was
reduction from 2.7 billion to 2.2 billion.
Things we got to follow. It's data center not being that good, which is not what I wanted. And then gaming. We have seen a slowdown in the EA, Electronic Arts.
Right.
Take-Two, although we don't know whether Grand Theft is really taken down. And, of course, Activision, Blizzard. So they've got problems now, not just crypto. They've got gaming, and they have data centers. So, I mean, oh, darn. I mean, I like this company so much. But I saw it go up, David, and on nothing. So many of these went up on nothing. Inventory. This time is very different, as we saw when the company reported last night. Excess inventory, thing of the past. Now, why does this kind of visibility matter? Because it allows the analysts to model the future with more accuracy. It lets them say, the stock looks expensive on this year's numbers, as it does, but it looks very cheap on 2023 estimates. And that, more than anything else, is why money managers paid up for Nvidia today, up $19. I had to read 3 times because Jensen Wang is so much smarter than I am. But wow, I mean, they are. I mean, there was a point. I sent them a note last night. I said, guys, did you really say that the A100, which is their super, has 54 billion? Did you mean billion transistors, or did you mean million? Billion. Well, I can't. Is there someone who really needs that? And the answer is Amazon. These guys are so far ahead of everybody else. But people just say, Jensen's I need a translator because, like, he speaks in 2040, 2050 language, and I'm stuck in this 2020 thing. And I do love him dearly, and I love the CFO, Colette Kress, but they're too smart. Remember the kids in class that you said, I don't want to be in that class. There's Jensen Wang? Well, that's Jen. You don't want to be in his class because he's going to ruin your curve. Right. Well, let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 price targets raised. 17? 17. Most that I've seen. So I say that right now you put NVIDIA, you make it so that it's on your shopping list. When you think the selling is over, reach for that first, because that may be a new world record, 17 price target bumps. And these people are putting on numbers in the midst of a recession that, frankly, if I were a CEO at any other company, I'd be calling a Zoom meeting right now saying, why can't we do numbers like Jensen Wang? Why can't we do numbers like him? And the answer is because he's smarter than you. You know what? I didn't think it was possible, but CEO Jensen Wang has outdone himself. And I say that as someone who regularly calls him the Leonardo da Vinci of our time. He does me one better. Listen to this from his analyst day. Quote, NVIDIA is a computer platform company helping to advance the work for the Da Vincis of our time in language, understanding, drug discovery, or quantum computing. He concluded by saying, NVIDIA is the instrument for your life's work. But when NVIDIA raised numbers beyond even the loftiest projections, it took off, ultimately gaining more than 5% on the day. Why is this so important to me? Why did I rename my dog, formerly Everest, after this living, breathing organization that is NVIDIA? It is simple. because this company reinvents itself every single year. Not every 6 years or 10 years, every year. I got to come up with a whole new name, a new category for this one. But for now, you know what we're going to do? We're going to call it the GOAT. That is, greatest of all time for tech. I've said time and again that Nvidia stock, well, it always looks expensive. At any given moment, it seems like it sells at a gigantic price-to-earnings multiple. It's so expensive that both analysts and institutions reject the valuation and go looking for bargains elsewhere. That is a huge mistake. A company that says it can't meet the demand for any of its products is a company that can surprise to the upside, which is how a seemingly expensive stock turns out to be. Get this. It's going to come back and haunt me? No. A value play. It's going to come back and haunt me? No. A value play. As for Nvidia, I like to call CEO Jensen Wang a modern Da Vinci because he is a Renaissance man, a painter, a draftsman, a scientist, an engineer, and an architect. The only differences are that Da Vinci never wore a cool motorcycle jacket and Jensen never. Nvidia can purchase this ARM Holdings if it can close on it. It will become the most important semiconductor company of our time. It's already pretty close. Did you notice that the government's using chips from AMD and Nvidia for its supercomputer as it awaits Intel's delayed product? Doesn't that say it all? People say, why is, Jim, how could that be a $780 billion company? And I say, I know, why isn't it $10 trillion? Because you're looking at 2040. We're looking at 2020. We're looking at 2021. We're looking at the next quarter. You're looking at the next 20 years. These are the reasons why this is happening at NVIDIA, correct?
Well, we try to go solve problems that are incredibly hard to solve, that has a great impact, that has never been solved before.
Why is that good business?
Well, it's not good business in the beginning.
No, it's basic research.
Because you have to research. It's not good business all the time because we fail. However, there are many areas where we do succeed. For example, we are going to be a network of partners. Our partner Mercedes-Benz, as you know, builds millions of cars.
$1 trillion market.
And together, it's $1 trillion market. We want to simulate all factories in metaverses, in this omniverse. We want to simulate plants in omniverse. We want to simulate the world's power grids in the omniverse. And by doing that, we could improve we could decrease the amount of waste. And that's the reason why the economics are so good for companies.
There's one extra person whom the job I can't fill. It's not like you're throwing people out of work. There's far more jobs than there are people. But you are solving a major problem for so many customer service facing companies. Nvidia, that would be like killing my dog. That's the toughest one. You know, my dog's named Nvidia. You know, I've got Nvidia the second. But Nvidia, I just went there and I saw things. I went time traveling with Jensen Wang. Time traveling.
I know, but it's still
I went to the Globe Theater
year to date.
I am being a pig in Nvidia. Okay, I decided I couldn't be a pig in Ford anymore. I couldn't be a pig I couldn't be a pig in AMD. I admit to being piggish in Nvidia because this may be a $10 trillion stock. I think that's right. I mean, I thought NVIDIA's call was actually as great as it gets. I mean, they've got unbelievable demand for every single line. Their Omniverse product is extraordinary. They've got great auto coming. The gaming is just unheralded. There's nobody better. But they dominate in the data center. I don't know how you could be doing better. I saw some outfit downgraded it, and I wanted to say to them, like, do you even know what Jensen Wang's up to? Yeah, I mean, I think Nvidia is down because it's a high multiple stock and it doesn't matter. Nvidia is working with Microsoft on Translator, where they're working on AI to help people who speak different languages communicate in real time. That's part of the video. This is one area where Nvidia has a major edge. They've got the best inference technology, which is what computers need to understand actual human speech. At the same time, representatives from GlaxoSmithKline, Merck, AstraZeneca, Bristol Myers, Eli Lilly, McKesson, even the Mayo Clinic chimed in to talk about how they rely on NVIDIA's technology. These are major, major players. No company has this roster. They now have a $1 trillion total addressable market. Lately, Wall Street doesn't put much sense in these forecasts, and you always have to take them with a grain of salt. But this is not some fly-by-night tech startup. NVIDIA has earned the benefit of the doubt. They're talking about the $300 billion addressable market in autos, another $300 billion in chips and systems, $150 billion in AI enterprise software, $150 billion in Omniverse enterprise software, and $100 billion in gaming, which is that NVIDIA is 1 or 2 steps ahead of the competition in nearly every market where it competes, as J.P. Morgan put in their own research update after the event. And I say they are light years ahead of all companies when it comes to artificial intelligence melding with machine learning. Here's the bottom line. I know this is a tough market for a stock like NVIDIA, and I wouldn't be surprised if it has another leg lower. But when you look at what this incredible company is coming up with, I think NVIDIA owns the future. That's why I still love the stock long term, and I view any weakness as a chance to buy more gradually on the way down. Oh. Don't want to buy NVIDIA or sell it. I want to buy. NVIDIA's been cut in half. I like these. Do I want to buy Metaverse or sell it? I think that Zuckerberg's doing the right thing. I mean, he's decided to not spend like a drunken of NVIDIA. It's the worst chart I've seen. Honestly, it's so horrible that I want to buy it. Because it's like, I look at it and say, okay, that's it. That chart is horrible. Sell NVIDIA. But wait a second. It's cut in half. They're actually doing a lot of good things in the Omniverse. When I look at some of the semiconductor stocks, David, you look at the average semiconductor stocks of the loved ones, down 50, 60%. I mean, what are we supposed to do? Say we got to wait for their down, what, 80? You see Intel lately?
Yes, I have. NVIDIA is something else you've loved.
Okay, look, I've been NVIDIA all the way up and all the way down.
I did notice it started, I mean, it was up yesterday.
It started bouncing. I sold some NVIDIA at the top, which I felt badly about.
It builds millions of cars.
$1 trillion market.
And to get...
My dog had just died. You know, my dog's name was NVIDIA.
I do.
But NVIDIA stock crashed because of gaming. And I think that was wrong. I think there's far more industrial. See, that's the whole thing, David, is about how much is gaming and how much is PC. And if you're gaming and PC, people just decide to write your obituary. And I think some of these were premature. NVIDIA historically has been more gaming. That's really their essence. I'm not saying this is disastrous because the stock's multiple has shrunk. I am saying that it's a reminder that gaming was very much a COVID phenomenon, and all the gaming stocks have come down. But NVIDIA, I would say this is a clearing event for NVIDIA. NVIDIA is now going to be viewed as an industrial company.
Right.
And that's what NVIDIA is, industrial and obviously data center. Gaming, David, is just so old. It's so yesteryear.
Cash generation.
It's the reset that we like, and it's the reset. Remember, this stock was at 346. Okay, so it can go to 160.
What do you think? I mean, NVIDIA has been under pressure. There's been a lot of bad news out there. Is enough at this point?
Well, they did report in the last quarter with a vicious, the bad guy down after pre-announcement guy down. Remember, one time they were $750 billion. I still think it's going to be $200 million the next hit. I think that the stock is down correctly. There was no warning. This was a very important chip for NVIDIA. It was not meant for the military. It was truly meant for I've seen it because I've seen it. It is meant for games, but it doesn't matter. It is the most sophisticated chip in the world. But I would say this. You count Jensen out after this, you're making a very big mistake. Jensen Wang is the best there is. I am not saying to buy NVIDIA today. I am saying that don't write NVIDIA off. AMD. I'm going to see NVIDIA this week. I'm concerned about NVIDIA.
What's your concern about NVIDIA, Jim?
Well, have you seen the way that Bitcoin is traded? They still have this. They're moving away. Ethereum's new merger means that you do not need graphics cards. That has been an unintended consequence for NVIDIA. They make these great cards, and those people have been the people who've been mining have been using them. You do not need their cards anymore to mine. And at the same time, they haven't been able to make the transition yet to being artificial intelligence, virtual reality. We're just not there yet, machine learning. So we've got the high-tech stuff not there yet producing earnings, and we have the lower stuff being hurt by this Ethereum transfer. David, maybe this was a big mistake. Maybe our leader is out of touch. If we get that, Carl, what are we going to... And we're short Nvidia, it's a loser.
Certainly, Cathie Wood's been doubling down, buying quite a bit last week, Jim.
We're short Nvidia, it's a loser.
Certainly, Cathie Wood's been doubling.
Okay, Nvidia. No one really cares. There's a very big gaming cycle that kicks in January. No one cares. This stock, along with AMD and Intel, have been really black holes, and a lot of people own them. I can make a case that there'll come a time to own them. I owned AMD, Nvidia, sold a lot.
Both down 60% for the year, Nvidia and AMD.
Time for the light round. Chris, very much. First calls rapid fire. Same thing. Stuck there. Bye. Just you play this out. And then the lightning round is over. Are you ready, Ski Daddy? Time for the lightning round. Chris, we're going to start with Dave.
When it's time, get back into Nvidia.
All right, now look, Nvidia is a very controversial stock. I know it's overvalued right now. Sometimes you have to just take a little bit more than like a one-week perspective. I think a year from now the stock could be higher, and I am sticking with Nvidia. Now let's go to Greg in Colorado. Greg, we're short Nvidia. It's a loser. A little bit more than like a one-week perspective. I think a year from now the stock could be higher, and I am sticking with Nvidia. Now let's go to Greg in Colorado. Greg,